Ooh, sorry, I'm having some technical difficulties, man. I am so sorry. I am so sorry, man. I am very, very sorry, man. Oh man. Um. Oh God, James got some Rebecca Black going. Oh God, that's awesome. That's awesome. Oh God, oh God, guys, I am so sorry. I was having some technical difficulties. Got some technical difficulties. I'm going to pop over here. Okay, I'm here. All right, man. Very excited about today. Very excited about today, man. Very excited. Got the Pistons. All right, man. I know nothing about basketball. I had an energy drink earlier today. Anyway, both of you guys, okay, got some Troy. I don't know who these guys are, but that's cool. So anyway, here's a drill. I did what's called a dirty bulk. I tried to bulk up, and I was trying to get to 185. And next thing I know, as soon as I get to 185, I get to 195, just like that. And so now it's time to lose weight. So right before I joined the show, I ate a salad, and it's like dropping a penny in a well. It's like, what the hell? It was like nothing. So I'm like, if I end the show early, it's because I'm freaking hungry. Salad does not do it. Who do I want at? This is a good question. Lions fans, who do you want at 7? Earlier, Mike posted in Sue is returning to Tampa. That's a big win for Tampa. Big win for Tampa. All right, where am I at? All right. Crappy thing to do to golf. All right, some interesting things you guys got here going on. That's actually true, Denver Gator. I was having some issues with my OnlyFans account, so I am. All right, let's get going here. I'm going to start by normally what I do is that when there's a topic like, for example, the Carson Wentz trade, I normally try to get as much information as I can about the trade. Then I could go ahead and talk about it. But I decided to do the opposite. I decided to just go ahead and as soon as I found out about the trade, I didn't listen to ESPN. I didn't listen to PTI. I didn't listen to the NFL Network. I just wanted to give you an organic thought on my end. I didn't want to do any research. So I'm not. So what you're hearing is I'm not regurgitating something you heard from ESPN, NFL Network. You guys are intelligent. You guys are sports fans. You already heard about that. I'm just going to give you what I think. And first thing I want to do is that the first 2 things I saw on social media got it wrong. They completely got the trade compensation wrong. So I'm going to go ahead and lay it out of what the trade actually is. Okay, Carson Wentz is going for a 3rd this year. All right, so the Eagles are going to have the Colts' third round pick this year and a 2nd round pick next year. Now that 2nd round pick becomes a 1st round pick if one of 2 things happen. First, he plays 75% of the snaps. He plays 75% of the snaps, then it's a 1st round pick. Now, if they make the playoffs and he plays 70% of the snaps, then it's 1st round pick. So more than likely, now Carson Wentz has been known to get hurt. And by the way, when you're looking at 75%, if they're not in the playoff hunt, he's definitely not going to play 75%. But if they do make the playoffs, he's almost got to play 70%. So that's what it is. So I would estimate that it's probably, I think the Colts are a playoff team. So it's more than likely it's a 3rd this year and 1st this year. I am kind of surprised because if you would have said who's going to get more trade compensation, Philly or Detroit for their quarterbacks, I would say Philly. But that's not even close to being true. Plus, Philly's going to have a record $33.8 million dead hit this year. They already released Deshaun Jackson, and then I saw Green Bay let go of Christian Kirksey, and I think they're starting right tackle. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but That's kind of what's been going on. And that's kind of why I like doing the show on Fridays, that we get all this information, then we can kind of talk about it. And ultimately, I'm jacked up to do the show today because I just want to talk football. It's been a long week, and hold on, drink some coffee. I've had some technical difficulties. I was going to make a new intro video, and I couldn't get it to work. I kept on hearing this like crackling, popping noise. So finally, I installed the latest update, rebooted my computer. I believe it's okay. If everything's fine, I'm going to have my first draft video Monday. I'm going to do pick number 2, which is the Jets, Monday. Wednesday, it would be pick number 3, Miami. And then Friday, I'll have pick number 4, oh God, I always mix them up, but it's Atlanta, isn't it? I always get Atlanta and Carolina mixed up at 4. I don't know why. I keep thinking it's Carolina. It's actually Atlanta. So, and then these videos, no trades, but I'll go into detail whether a team wants to trade up or trade down. And man, I'm kind of mad. One Pride 4. I'm going out of order on the comments. I'm going to go back and get the ones I missed. But One Pride 40, the biggest winner out of Wentz trade is Wentz. I was actually going to say this. One Pride 40. I was actually going to say this. So, yeah. And Mike Sue is returning to the Bucs. As of right now, the Bucs would be my favorite to win the Super Bowl. William Hill released the odds, and Westgate Casino changed it, but they put Kansas City number 1. I'm like, why is Kansas City number 1? I think Tampa Bay is easily number 1. They have a very young defense, and the defense won the Super Bowl, especially in that secondary. So you have a young defense. Sue's coming back. The big question now with Tampa Bay is what can you do with Levante David? Because he said he wanted to be the NFL's highest paid linebacker. I forget the player's name, the guy with the New York Jets. They got from Baltimore. They gave him, I think, 16 or 18 million. He sat out this year due to COVID. That's why I can't think of his name off the top of my head. If you're going to pay Levante David 18 million a year, that's tough, because what do you do when Devin White's contract comes up? Because he's a first round pick. So you can have him. I believe this will be year number 3 coming up this year. So you're looking at next year having to give him a lot of money. So more than likely, Levante David's going to walk, but getting Sue back's huge. More than likely, if you lose Levante David, the defense won't be quite as good. But offensively, who are they going to lose? You may lose Fournette, but you could replace. Yeah, honestly, you can replace Fournette. You can replace Fournette. So right now, Tampa Bay looks loaded. I'm a Chiefs fan. Who's more likely to repeat, Kansas City or Tampa Bay? I'm telling you, Tampa Bay. I have a buddy of mine at the gym. We talked about the Super Bowl, and he's like, well, people are saying next year, and that's kind of attitude. I said, hey, Aaron Rodgers only won 1 Super Bowl. Dan Marino's only been to 1 Super Bowl. This team was a lot better than last year's team. The Chiefs fans, last year was Super Bowl. The last game of the season didn't count, but this was the best year I've ever had as a Chiefs fan. 14-1, the last game of the season didn't count. 2 playoff games where we didn't even play at 100%. I mean, we killed Buffalo in the AFC Championship game. I think we played at like 80, 90%. I mean, is there a better season? No, there's not. It just, left tackle gets hurt. Offensive line's garbage. Coach didn't play well. Game plan didn't play well. Kind of rolled out our helmets. Got beat by a really good Bucs team. And right now, I think the Bucs are in great shape to repeat. What's good, chat, man? I'm so glad to see. I've been looking forward to this all day, man. I've been looking forward to this all day, man. Yeah, and yeah. LA gave up on Goff. We got extra capital for taking him. I think this is a great move for Detroit. I would caution Rams fans who think that this automatically made them a Super Bowl team. It really didn't. I would say that you would, if you had to quantify this in the wins and losses, I'd say give them an extra win. They go from a 10-win team to an 11-win team. Detroit this year is going to be bad. I'm warning you. I'm warning Lions fans right now. It's going to be bad. All right. But next year, grilled chicken Caesar. Oh, I love some grilled chicken Caesar, man. Dude, they have these pre-mixed salads all together. They're on sale. And I was like, I've had them before. They're actually great. So I was like, they're on sale. I grabbed 5 of them. And it's a bag. It has all the ingredients in the bag. Has everything in there. And just it didn't do it, man. It's like dude, didn't do it. I'm too fat. So, I think 4 QBs are gone after 6. That's possible. That's possible. It's a big question of Cincinnati at 5 is kind of a question mark, because what you're going to see is that I think Cincinnati really wants to trade down. Excuse me. I think Cincinnati really wants to trade down. They need multiple players. So I think that's kind of the cue, is who's going to trade up and, who wants to give up what kind of capital. That's going to be kind of interesting, Mark. Cincinnati at 5. I don't think Miami's going to stay at 3 either. I think Miami will auction that pick off because they pick at 18. Miami's good to go. So, I mean, yeah. You could be right. You could be right. This is an awful deal for Philly. It is. Okay, let me look at this, because let me break this down with the Colts and the Eagles. Let me break this down before I start ranting on about something else. With the Colts, you get an upgraded quarterback. When Frank Reich was the offensive coordinator in Philly, Carson Wentz played at an NFL MVP level. You're going from the worst offensive line in football to maybe the best. You're getting a skill position upgrade, and you have a team that look, watch that game against Buffalo. They're about 45 seconds away from winning that game. Out of all teams in the AFC, I really thought the Colts were the one that was most dangerous to the Kansas City Chiefs. So, how does this increase? You're what? The Colts were, I can't remember if they were 10 or 11 wins off the top of my head. So it makes them 11-12 win team. Can they win the AFC South? Maybe. All the teams in the AFC South, except for Houston, got better this offseason. Now, the Titans have some players that they're going to work with. I think they're going to lose Corey Davis, but they add another edge rusher on the other side of Harold Landry. How much does Derrick Henry have left? If you're not familiar, big running backs have a very short lifespan. Watch, for example, look at Eddie George's career. After year 5, just boom. Earl Campbell, first 3 years better than anybody's first 3 years in the NFL. Just right off a cliff. When is Derrick Henry going to hit that? It comes fast for big running backs like that. Remember, if you haven't seen it, Google it, because I don't have the numbers available, but Derrick Henry's high school stats are something incredible. It's over 10,000 yards in high school, including, I think it was like 4,500 his senior year. It's insane. His last year in college, over 2,000. Won the Heisman. Wasn't healthy his first 2 years, had some injury issues. And then he used quite a bit the last 2 years. So that's so Colts probably favorite to win the AFC South. Are they better now than the Bills or the Chiefs? Right now, today, no. But there's a lot to like about the Colts. Now, the Eagles, on the other hand, they're not as bad as most people think. They're going to get multiple offensive linemen back, including Andre Dillard. He was going to be their starting left tackle, first-round pick the year before. 10 days before the season starts, he tears his ACL in training camp. He's going to come back healthy. I love this guy out of Washington State. I thought this guy was going to be a stud. So you have your offensive line in shape. Jalen Reagor had some issues early. He wasn't a first-round pick by a fluke, and he showed flashes. Dallas Goddard Looks like he's going to replace Ertz. Ertz is probably going to be gone. He'll get some trade compensation for that. Miles Sanders, very, very good running back. This is a deep draft, so you're going to be able to add wide receivers next to Gregor. And then here's another Gregor. I'm sorry. The defense is good. How good is the NFC East? I think Dallas is going to improve. The Giants could be really good. The Giants are kind of a sleeper team. Washington, I'm not really sure what they're going to do. I'll be honest. I don't know what they're planning to do at quarterback. I would love to see Alex Smith get one last season, but I don't know if that's going to happen. So, Lions compensation is greater than Eagles compensation. I would have thought just the opposite, but yeah. Philly might be ready to give Hurts a shot. Ertz might be gone, and Pitts could go. You're 100% right. Pitts could go. That's kind of going to be the issue with my mock draft is what is Philly going to do at 6? Are they going to go with Hurts and then add the best offensive weapon? You could get a wide receiver, or you can get Pitts, and that would work great. The defense is still good. Your offense is going to be good. Philly's an interesting team draft-wise of what they do at 6, because let's say you go with Hurts. Why not trade down? Get a bunch of receivers. Get a bunch of players. Roll the dice. The thing with Philly is that I would probably give Hurts his shot, and the reason why is because I'm going to get a first and an additional second next year. And you can go ahead and you draft your quarterback next year. That would be if you draft your quarterback this year, then I'm like, what are you doing? I think Philly has to give Hurts his shot this year. Spoiler alert for you draft junkies. Mike is sick of the Lions. I understand, man. We got a lot of Lions fans here. And the reason why is I went on a Detroit Lions show, and a lot of those guys liked what I had to say. So, yeah, I get it, Mike. I understand, but I could talk 32 different teams here. So, yeah. Pitts might go to the Bengals. I agree. That's where, okay, my videos, I already know what the picks are going to be. At least, okay, I already know what I want to say for the videos 2, 3, and 4. It's the sound quality on the videos. I keep getting this crackling noise that I can't fix. And I might have to do is I might actually have to purchase Windows 10, because I have Windows 10 installed. I don't have it activated. I think that might be causing a problem. I think Detroit trades down for more picks. I'm not convinced Galladay won't get traded. I don't disagree with either one of those. I could see if Lance is not available at 7, that's what you do. Could Detroit trade up? Sure. Still a little crackle. Okay. Yeah. When I was trying to do a new intro video last night, and it was just throughout the whole video, and then once I installed the newest update. But if I can't fix the sound when I do the videos, if I can't fix the sound, then I'll just postpone it. I might have to I just don't want to spend. It's like $109. There's sites that like you can get a key or something. I don't like doing that. I just like saying, hey, look, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to use it. And if there's a problem, I can complain. You go to a site, you get the key, and it doesn't work. Well, you're just out that money. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. I got all right. Big mistake. Okay, Tampa Bay, if they lose Godwin. I'm not really sure, because you get Antonio Brown, you got Gronk. Mike Evans is the number one. Godwin had that great year, but I don't know if he was banged up or not. I think you could lose Godwin and be okay, especially this year, because you'll be able to get a drive. You will be able to get a wide receiver. And if you don't get him in the first round, you can get a wide receiver in the second round. Mike Evans is your number one guy. You got Gronk. And if you keep Fournette, you got 2 good running backs. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really don't. And they're in decent cap situation, but I don't think Godwin's a big loss for Tampa Bay. You have Pitts going to the Bengals. I don't hate that. It actually makes a lot of sense. You're going to lose AJ Green. And here's the deal with the Bengals. They have to win this year. They have to win this year. You're a first-time NFL head coach. You've been there for 2 seasons, and you've won 6 games, 6.5 with the tie. You got to win this year. Who gives you your best chance to win at 5? It's probably Pitts. I don't hate that. I don't agree with that at all. What about Pitts Funk? Yep, good call. Lance to Philly. Let me argue the flip side. Why not get your quarterback next year when you already have the extra draft capital? Yeah, you get a third this year, but you're going to get at least the second, maybe a first. And if you bomb, you're going to have a high first. So, got like a hangnail here I'm messing with. Sewell to my at 3 or 18. I don't think he's going to be available at 18. I'm not as high on Sewell, but the one thing I want to say is that I kept on seeing he's 6'3". And then Daniel Jeremiah said he'd probably be better suited at guard in the NFL. And if he's 6'3", that makes a lot of sense. Then there's some other sites I'm seeing he's 6'6", so he magically grew 3 inches. If he's 6'3", I'm not sure he's the left tackle. And if that's the case, you don't want to draft him at 3. I don't think he slides all the way to 18. This is a really good tackle draft. So, spoiler alert, I'll let you know right now, I don't have Sewell going to Miami. Remember last year they drafted Austin Jackson in the first round. They drafted him at 18. And they put him on the left side. He played really well. And then the second round pick, who was a guard, actually moved him at the right tackle, and he played really well. So I don't think that's the fit. But you never know. Never know. I kind of ruined my Miami. Watch my Miami mock draft. If the sound quality works right, I'll release those 3 videos this week. Well, actually, I'll make them. I'll make the number 2 video, the pick number 2 video. I'll probably make it Saturday. I might wait till Sunday. If I can't get the sound to work, then I won't do it. In my personal mock, buried in my Funk. Actually, Funk. If you don't have to, but I would love to know what your mock is, man. I would love what your mock is, and I hope you watch all my draft videos. Of course, I need the sound to work. So I've had a real problem with the sound. It's very frustrating. When I upgrade in computers, I'm getting all Apple products. I'm going to have an Apple household because I ever since I moved to an iPhone, I've loved it. I'm getting an Apple TV. I'm getting an Apple computer, and the sound issues have been very, very, very frustrating. So actually, Rams are losing a lot of good coaches. I think the Rams will be bad as well. I don't think they'll be bad, but I forgot about that. They are going to lose some coaches. I think that when I break down the Rams, though, I'm going to probably give them a push. What I do is I use a plus-minus scale, and even though you lost some coaches, they have some young talent on offense, and I think Stafford's an upgrade over Goff. Not a huge upgrade. He has to stay healthy. The bad news is if you trade for Stafford and he gets hurt, you're screwed. But yeah. If you buy and cook up some chicken, throw it in there. Me and my wife eat salads regularly. I love salmon. I have never been able to cook it right. I've tried it in the oven and didn't work. I tried it on stove. There was actually some fish I got on sale. I talked to the lady. I think she was hitting on me. I got a little big game. I have no idea what she looks like without the mask. So, I went like, hey, let me know. I want to be like, hey, take off your mask and see if you're hot or not. So, but yeah. Every Lions fan knows you'll be bad. Just this year. Next year, okay, I'm confident Philly is set on giving Hurts a chance. They may trade back to quarterback need. Yeah, absolutely, Funk. Absolutely. That's what I see. I see it 6. You trade down to either 8 or you trade down to 12. You might be able to get a major deal with a team like Chicago, and that would be very hard. But the Bears, they gave up 2 first-round picks and a third for Khalil Mack. So do they have enough pieces involved on their team to make a good trade? But yeah, I agree with you here. I think they'll give Hurts a chance, because here's the drill. All right, you have a first-time coach coming in, a first-time new head coach. If it doesn't work, you get rid of the coach. You don't lose that much. You just move on from Hurts, and you have a high first-round pick plus either a first or a second, more than likely a first from the Colts. So you have the trade capital. So why not? Why not? And if it blows up, then you just blow up your team. It's no big deal. And you get rid of the guy, the coach who nobody knew before you hired him anyway. Of all the coaches, did anybody here know about the Colts offensive coordinator even being a viable candidate as a head coach? From what I'm told, Frank Wright ran the whole offense. He called all the plays. So, yeah. I heard they're looking at QB competition. It wouldn't surprise me if they signed somebody in free agency. It wouldn't surprise me, but the cap situation's not good. So more than likely, you give Hurts a chance and go with some young guys. So I don't know. They're stacked with coaching talent. They may make a play. Not this year. Not this year. Not this year. They are, but the rest of it is everybody. I got a lot of Lions fans, Mike. I got a lot of Lions fans, and the drill is that I'll talk with whoever's available, but I can talk 32 teams. I want to get fans from all 32 fan bases. That's kind of the goal. But I got a lot of Lions fans, so I'll talk Lions, man. I can talk all 32 teams. Now the Lions fans, they know a lot more in-depth detail than maybe I do, but I can offer an outside opinion. And I don't always agree with them. But yeah, Mike, man, I can talk 32 different teams. So I get a lot of Lions fans, man. So, I mean, that's kind of the way it goes. I'm hoping that with the draft videos that I can expand to get more fans from different teams. That's kind of what my goal is. I've just been having a lot of technical difficulties, unfortunately, because I was hoping actually to start last week. Normally, I like going after the draft, after the combine, but I'm going to start the draft videos early, and I might have to do a lot of recaps and a lot of what do you call them? Anyway, like as far as free agency is concerned, like for example, let's say I have the Jets taking a quarterback at number 2, and then the Jets pick up a free agent quarterback. Well, then I have to do a draft video. I have to do a video saying, well, since the Jets did this is how it affected the draft. And then, I might have to do like an extra 2 videos, more likely just 1, but yeah. Most of us, yeah. I'm from Detroit. I'm not from Detroit, but Michigan. I know James lives up there. I think Miami takes Sewell. Wow. I'll be honest. I don't see it. You drafted a offensive lineman at 18, and I think it was pick number 37 last year. So why use one at 3? When the offense, there's nothing wrong with the offensive line. There's nothing wrong about the offensive line. Oh man, hopefully this is friendly trash talk. You can make fun of me all you want, but I want it to be friendly here. Mike, where are you from and what do you want to talk about? Post a comment here because we are all football junkies. And that's the main thing about the show. I'm a football junkie. One Pride 40. Oh, wow. Okay. Lawrence, Wilson, Sewell, Fields, Pitts, Lance. Okay, at that pick, if everything went just like that, number 7 would probably be Jamal Chase. And then number 8, Mac Jones. Wow. I have to admit, I would be floored if Mac Jones went at 8. I would be floored. If the draft, by the way, if it goes like that, Jamar Chase, that's who's going to be number 7. I'm in Fort Lauderdale and a Bills, Bucks, and Dolphins fan. I enjoy talking about good teams. LOL. You know what? I'm going to stop right here. And he hasn't joined yet. My buddy from Houston, and I saw him on Twitter. He said that last Friday when Watt wanted his release, he's like, "Give me a day." So I said, "Give you a day." I think J.J. Watt ends up in Miami. J.J. Watt ends up in Miami. And I don't understand why more people aren't seeing how this works. Brian Flores and Romeo Crennel coached together in New England. The defense is extremely similar. He would play the same position. Miami has a very young team. They need veteran leadership. Texas is a state with no state income tax. So is Florida. You want to go to a contender? Miami's a contender. Hypothetical situation. When if they want to get Deshaun Watson? What's the best thing that you can do to entice Deshaun Watson to go to Miami? Sign J.J. Watt. I don't get this. ESPN had a deal where top 9 teams had interest in J.J. Watt. Miami wasn't one of them. Once I found out that he didn't want to go to Pittsburgh, I'm like, well, he's going to Miami. J.J. Watt is going to the Miami Dolphins. That's my opinion. It makes the most sense to me. They have the cap room. They have a young team that needs a veteran. I don't think he's really a 4-3 end. Him going to Cleveland doesn't make a lot of sense to me because you line him up as opposite of Myles Garrett. Well, here's what you do. You run at Myles Garrett and you run away from J.J. Watt. That makes all sense in the world. I don't care what people say. I kept on hearing Myles Garrett's this great run stuffer. No, he's not. Myles Garrett does not like to play against the run. So you run at him. You run away from Watt. At this stage in his career, he's not running people down. In a 3-4 defense, he's more dangerous on the inside. In a 4-3, is he? Let me ask you something. Even if you're the biggest Watt fan, is he just going to rip around a left tackle and just does he have the speed at this point in his career? I just don't think Cleveland's that good of a fit. Here's the deal. Let's say he goes to Cleveland. Let's say J.J. Watt goes to Cleveland. And if you're the Baltimore Ravens, are you scared? If you're the Buffalo Bills, are you scared? I'm a Chiefs fan. I'm not scared. Put Watt in Cleveland. What scares me about Cleveland is that Greedy Williams and Grant Delpit, a couple LSU defensive backs that were out all of this year, those guys coming back and playing at high level, that scares me. That and Watt, it could be really good. It could be really good, but if I'm Watt, why would I want to go to Cleveland when Miami is a perfect fit? He does the same exact thing. He doesn't need – the defense is practically the same defense. Flores and Romeo Crennel work together in New England. They run the same scheme practically. So, anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think about, but that's my prediction. J.J. Watt goes to Miami. Mike has not joined yet. So, I think Miami goes wide receiver. That makes a lot of sense. Pitt, don't be surprised if I think Miami's going to trade out of that 3 spot, but if they stay there, why not Pitts? You got a rookie quarterback. Give me a unicorn. And that's what you got in Pitts. Why not? One Pride 40. I had no idea. I did not know this at all. I heard the Colts might lose Nelson, and I would have a massive problem with that. As a football fan, he's a guard. I did not know about this at all. This is news to me. Me personally, I would wow. I had no idea. No, if I'm the Colts, I do everything I can to keep Nelson. I did not know that at all. He's first round pick, so the Colts have the fifth year option. They have to use it. Wow. Wow. If I'll go to Indy and put Ballard in a chokehold. That's pretty good, man. All right, sorry guys. I went on my rant. If the Lions win 6 games, they'll be picking around 10. It'll cost everything they got for Stafford to move up. There's always going to be a quarterback. Every year there's going to be a quarterback. So, do I like Slater better than Sewell? I don't have the answer, man. I don't have the answer. I want to see the pro days. I want to see the measurements. If Sewell is 6'3" and the arms aren't that long and he's got to move it. Here's the thing. I think Sewell would be a Quentin Nelson type guard and a possible liability at tackle. Slater's a guy who I also think would be a great guard. And I actually, yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not as high on Sewell. I keep seeing Sewell as a top 5 pick. A spoiler alert, I don't have him as that. They lost Cromer, Pleasant, Berry, Staley, and a lot of coaches and some good front office people. I'm not arguing with you. I'd love to see Chicago blow their load and moving up in the draft again. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not as high on Mac Jones as a lot of people, but the rule of thumb is that if you think a quarterback's got a 3rd round grade, you draft him in the 2nd. If you think quarterback's a 2nd round grade, we draft him in the 1st. That's kind of what we're thinking. Us Lions fan, man, I love you guys too, man. I love you guys too. I can't thank you guys enough for engaging, talking football with me. I'm doing my favorite thing in the world. I'm trying to get some draft videos out. I'm just having all sorts of issues with sound and computers, and it's very, very frustrating. So today's just been great. Today I'm just super glad to talk football, man. So by the way, give me a thumbs up, James. I can't wait to get the draft videos out. I really want. When you click on my YouTube screen for the first time, I have a very old video. I was going to make a new one, and I was all ready. I had like my script and everything, I'm pretty sure I could show you a clip of what it is. It sounded terrible, and so if I can't fix the sound, I don't know. Music City guy, what's up? Missed the last couple of weeks. Oh, man, you're not going to believe this. Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry were on the show. They signed autographs for it. No. Man, we're just talking football. I'm having some technical difficulties, but hopefully if everything works out right, I'm going to start my draft videos on Monday. And for right now, I'll just have a video Monday, Wednesday, Friday. What I think I'm going to do is just start doing them Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But I think at the start of April, I might start doing them every single day. Right now, today, we've just been talking about the draft. The Tennessee Titans, I'd love to hear what you think about the Titans. Ultimately, hey, man, we're just talking football, man. I'm glad you're here, brother. Very glad you're here, man. I'd love to know what you think about your Titans. We did talk about Derrick Henry. When is he going to hit the wall? Is he still going to be a 2,000-yard running back this year? What do you think, man? What do you think? Put you on the spot, man. If they jumped us to take Mac Jones, it would be hilarious. I'd probably end up in the hospital from laughing. Oh man, I pray to God they don't get Parsons. I'll give you a spoiler alert. I don't think Parsons goes in the 1st round. I don't know where he would go. I normally a guy like Bill Parcells. Normally a guy like Bill Belichick may take him. I think he just free falls in this draft. It'll be very interesting to see where Parsons goes. I want to see his pro day because I heard it's going to be something ridiculous if he's allowed to participate in the pro day. I believe he is. A little love for Music City guy. Maybe Detroit goes and signs Darnold, a golf Darnold battle in training camp. I don't see that happening because remember, you're eating $43 million. That was part of the reason why you got a lot of trade capitals. You got $43 million. And Mike's a big Darnold fan. Coming out of the draft, Darnold was my quarterback number 1. He needs to go somewhere and sit he needs to go somewhere and just sit. Darnold needs to go somewhere and sit. It's more than any other position. The quarterback, it relies on more external factors. All right, you need good coaching. You need a line. You need and he had nothing in with the Jets. I'd love to see Darnold go to a team where he can just sit and be a backup for a few years. So I think Parsons would be perfect in Denver, especially if they don't bring back Vaughn. It's a team option. You know what? I was floored when I saw it just the other day where Von Miller may not come back to Denver, and I was floored. I was really floored. And Chiefs fans really want Von Miller in Kansas City, but he doesn't fit in the defense. He's a pure 3-4 outside linebacker. In Kansas City, I think he'd have to play end. I don't think he really would be a great 4-3 linebacker. And I mean, you have to realize in the Chiefs defense, outside linebackers do a variety of different things. They just don't rush the passer. So I think it's kind of like a square peg in a round hole. And I wouldn't want Von Miller as a defensive end. At least that's my opinion. But as a pure 3-4 outside linebacker, I was shocked when Denver's considering this. It hasn't happened yet. But I think I'm gonna say I think Denver would be making a big mistake. Denver Gator, I saw him on Twitter, but I haven't seen him in the chat yet. So, all right, Mike, do you want the Bills to take J.J. Watt? That's actually a great question. That I kept hearing that, and the Bills, ever since they got beat by the Chiefs, Bills Mafia has been a complete bitch fit. I was in shock because I like Bills Mafia. I'm a big fan of Bills Mafia, but I had to unfollow several purple-haired Bills ladies that were part of Bills Mafia of all the hate. Like I'm old school. The Chiefs lost to the Bills in the 1993 AFC Championship game. They knocked out Joe Montana. I didn't hate on Buffalo. That was a great team. Good luck in the Super Bowl. It was number 4 for them. I was expecting them to say, hey, look, we weren't as good as Kansas City. They had to know they weren't as good as Kansas City. Come on. And at Arrowhead. But no, it was just a bunch of bitching and whining. And I'm like, are you serious? So Hopkins is on Twitter. Dude, there's so many teams trying to get J.J. Watt, but I really think he's going to end up in Miami. That's what I see. One pride for you, like Watt being, yeah. I think he ends up in Miami, and Miami makes a lot of sense. They need a veteran like Watt. And here's the thing: I think it's a 2-year deal. Like 2 years, $30 million, $35 million, whatever. Get those young players up and going. You have a lot of draft picks that you can build around him. That to me, that makes all sense in the world. JJ and Watson's the Dolphins. Okay. I think JJ Watt's going to end up in Miami. I think Watson's going to end up in Houston. Watson's not going anywhere. But I read Watt one. You know what? That would make sense. And you have Sue on one side, you have Watt on the other, you have Vita Veda in the middle, and you're good to go. You are good to go. And that is scary. But yeah. Sorry. That damn salad, which did not fill me up. Excuse me. I'm only looking at StreamYard, by the way. I'm only looking at StreamYard. I have no idea what's going on YouTube, so make sure you give me a thumbs up. I may have 15,000 thumbs down. I have no idea. So anyway, give me a thumbs up. And also, by the way, if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. But, I mean, tonight I've seen a bunch of regulars, a bunch of great guys, a bunch of really smart, knowledgeable football fans. Mike, also, I got to give you extra props, man. You know, Coastal Carolina, Bills and Bucks in the Super Bowl. That I'm stealing that from you because as of today, that's my Super Bowl pick, Bills and Bucks. I'm stealing that from you. So I heard Ballard may move Nelson to tackle, and if they do that, I'm putting Ballard in chokehold. And if they put him there, he's a guard. Where did you hear this from? I purposely kind of stayed away from the NFL Network and ESPN because I just wanted to talk about Carson Wentz, and I wanted to give you an organic take. But, One Pride 40, you stole it from me. Wentz is the winner of this trade. I think they make the Colts better, but I don't think it makes them a Super Bowl team. Philly gets a lot of pieces back, but, God, man. Where's Longboarder? Are you talking about Denver Gator or Mike? Or I'm not sure what you're talking about. Not Mike. My buddy. I forgot, man. Sorry, man. I love Quentin Nelson. Quentin Nelson, I would have to say, as far as a guard, just maybe the best guard in football, on a path to be a Hall of Fame caliber player. Great player. I had no idea he was going to. They were thinking about moving him from the Colts. That's surprising. So, us Lions fans hate the Bears the most. Really? I'm actually surprised to hear that. I actually thought you guys hated the Vikings the most. All right, learn something new, man. If Nelson left the Colts, I'm throwing bricks trucks to make him go to the team. I don't blame you. I would love for him to come in Kansas City, but Kansas City's got a bad salary cap situation. So I hate the Bears, Vikings, Packers because they've all been to the Super Bowl. Tampa Bay has won a Super Bowl. I get it. Hey, listen, man. I'm pulling for Detroit, but it's going to be bad though. I was going to say here's his teams: Bills, Bucks, Dolphins. By the way, Mike, it's almost the same weather here as it is there in Fort Lauderdale. It is all the way up to like 21 degrees. So yeah, it's almost the same. Why am I not living in Fort Lauderdale, Mike? That's a great question. Darnold. I love Darnold coming out of USC. I really think that I would love to see him. Matter of fact, it's funny because I'm a Music City guy. I'd love to see him be in a situation like Ryan Tannehill where he's a backup and then maybe he can get his chance to start. So I think Henry will gradually slow down. I'd be happy with 1,400 yards. A lot of focus now on stopping the man, plus Darian Evans needs to play. Yeah, they should. I was talking about because Eddie George, after the 5th season, just dropped off a cliff. And I'm not sure how old you are, Music City guy, but Earl Campbell had maybe the best first 3 years of any running back ever. And after that, just wasn't the same guy. And how much longer for big running backs? I'm in Kansas City. There's a guy by the name of Christian Okoye. I think I know Marty's first year here, he started that was his big year, led the NFL in rushing. Actually, Barry Sanders should have led the NFL in rushing. They were winning in a blowout, and they asked him, say, hey, you want to go back in to win the rushing title? And he said, no, he's good. Christian Okoye had 1,480 yards. Barry Sanders had 1,470 and didn't play the fourth quarter. So, as a rookie, Barry Sanders should have won the rushing title, but Christian Okoye got it instead. Christian Okoye, the next year got hurt. Just he had a stretch of like 24 games where he was maybe the best running. Well, Barry Sanders was significantly better. One of the best running backs in football, but he was 260 and just broke down. The difference was Christian Okoye had zero bounce, zero vision. If he hit the hole, he was gone. He ran under a 4.5. He was exceptionally fast. It's just he didn't have any of the vision, bounce that great running backs have. That's something Derrick Henry has, but I wonder how much he has in the tank. Because I really think that Tennessee is going to be an elite team and get to a Super Bowl. They need Derrick Henry to be the best running back in football, or at least top five running back. He needs to play at a very elite level. Not during the regular season, but in the playoffs. Darrington Evans really needs to play a larger role. Yeah. And I'm not sure Corey Davis is coming back. I'd expect him to be gone, but this is a good year to pick up a wide receiver. You need a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball. if Holmes wants Goff to succeed, they need to surround him with weapons and protect him. Well, this team, yeah, and yeah, God, they lack speed on offense and defense. Now Swift can fly. Swift, get it? Yeah, but yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, yeah. I this is news to me, man. This is a great show because I didn't know this. I didn't know that there was a possibility of Quentin Nelson being gone. Because to me, this is a guy since day one's been an All-Pro player. If you remember, the Jets moved up from 6 to 3 so they could take Darnold. And then they ended up getting the 6th pick in the draft. And then they also got the 2nd round pick, and that ended up being Darius Leonard. So the Colts traded back with the Jets and got 2 all-pro players while the Jets are probably going to draft a quarterback. So Bills fan had purple-haired lady. Dude, I'm not joking. I followed Bills Mafia, and all those girls dyed their hair purple for some weird reason. And then they all got angry at Kansas City and everything. One girl, I unfollowed her when she said, "I'll take Josh Allen over Mahomes any day." Are you serious? Come on. Real? Come on. And nothing against Josh Allen, but come on. Sorry. I didn't know this, man. I had no idea. I really didn't know. One Pride 40s informed me they want Quentin Nelson to move tackle. He could. It wouldn't be a stretch for him to do it. And tackles make more than guards, but I mean, you have an all-pro guard, so man, yeah. Agnew is vocally against giving Goff the payday. That was a mistake. The Rams made a lot of mistakes. Remember, they gave Gurley all that money, then they gave Goff all that money. I saw, and I don't have the 6 players down. I wish I had the list in front of me, but their top 6 players are going to make like $110 million, and that's tough to do because all 6 of those guys have got to stay healthy. And even if they do stay healthy, are they the best team in the NFC? I don't think they're better in Tampa Bay. I'm not even sure they're better in Seattle. So. Alex. Alex. Okay. Yeah, I was missing him too, man. I think so. He is a generational talent. Dan, the man with the plan, got the water back and had some good stuff, had some stuff to do. Finally here, and the Colts got a really good deal for Wentz. Well, man, hey, Alex, man, I am happy you're here. In case you missed it, I'm predicting that we didn't talk about this last show because you said you wanted a day, so I gave you a week. I have J.J. Watt going to Miami. So, man, I'm glad everything's good with you. I know it hardly ever snows here. It's a heat wave here in Kansas City. It's like 21 outside. It's like it's almost the same temperature here as it is in Fort Lauderdale. So I was wondering, we're all missing you, man. I'm glad you're here, man. I'm glad everything's going good. Mike was missing you, man. So that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad you're here, brother. I don't know what the hell is. Okay, wrong button here. Kansas. Yeah, it was actually cool because we had Christian Okoye. It's actually funny because we signed Barry Ward out of nowhere, and we were playing the Lions, and Christian Okoye was running all over the Lions. We were up by like 4 or 5 touchdowns, so we put Barry Ward in. He had 18 carries for 200 yards, set a Chiefs rushing record in like one half against the Lions. It was crazy. He had nobody even knew that he was running for a record. He is like his first carry, he goes for like a 70-yard touchdown. And then like 5 carries later, after he get the ball back, it seems like 5 minutes, he was like for a 60-yard touchdown. All of a sudden we look up, he said Chiefs rushing record. He was like 245. That draft in 91, we draft Harvey Williams in the first round, a first-round running back. And I'm like, this is like my first year just being absorbed with the draft. So we had Christian Okoye, we had Barry Ward, and what do we do at the first pick in the draft? We draft Harvey Williams, a running back. I was so furious. So, yeah. Man, Alex getting love, man. And dude. Oh, dude, that sucks, man. Here in the Midwest, we had rolling blackouts. I didn't get one myself, and it sucked because it was like single digit weather like for the last 8 or 9 days. It's hot today. It's like 21. Alex, man, dude, nothing but good thoughts and prayers here from here on out, brother. Anyway, I'm so glad you're here, man. I'm glad everything's working good, man. It's awesome. All right, hold on here, man. I'm behind on comments here. I heard this is our projected free agent class: Tyrell Williams, Mark Ingram, Marcus Williams, Tyrod Taylor. Not sure about that. I kind of want Demarcus Robinson would be perfect. Mark Ingram would actually be interesting, but I think if you get Ingram, then you let go of AP. That's interesting. Terrell Williams was really good with the Chargers, and I forgot where he was last year. Just, Demarcus Robinson, I think, would be a great fit. Very talented guy and had flashes, but just never really, blown up. So Christian got destroyed by a guy 45 pounds smaller than him. Still my favorite fit. Yeah, thanks for rubbing that in, Funk. It was Steve Atwater, and it was funny because Okoye ran all over Atwater that game. And it's actually funny. They're actually good friends. They're actually good friends to this day. And Christian Okoye, I don't know what Atwater's doing, but Christian Okoye is coaching like high school football. And I think Christian Okoye, because Atwater finally made the Hall of Fame, I think Christian Okoye actually went to the Hall of Fame to congratulate him. They actually ended up being good friends. Maybe the greatest hit of all time. Not going to lie. Maybe the greatest hit. I remember watching Monday Night Football. I was like, oh, damn. It was a great hit. But Christian Okoye ran over Atwater plenty of times. Atwater was a great hitter. I never considered him a Hall of Fame player, to be honest with you, but when he was up for candidacy, more and more people presented arguments, showed the stats, and I'm like, yeah, he's a Hall of Fame player. Then where's the other Michael? Am I that much on crack? I'm done. It was boring. Was it boring without? I am not doing a good enough job. Is the problem, Alex? I need to do up my game. We talked a little bit about the Wentz trade. One Pride 40 stole my thunder when he said the winner of the Wentz trade was Wentz. Wentz went on. That's kind of what we were talking about. I have J.J. Watt going to Miami. Nobody has that. Yeah. Yeah, that was a great draft for the Colts. A great trade. And it would have been a great trade for the Jets if Darnold panned out. But I think that what happened was it's just a case of so many bad situations. I think Darnold can be a great NFL quarterback, but he needs to get out. And I think he needs to be a backup for at least 1 year. Time to talk about the dysfunctionality of my Texans. Still good trade for the Colts. It is a good trade for the Colts. And if you didn't hear, excuse me, a lot of people are getting the trade compensation wrong. That's kind of what I started to show off with. Excuse me, damn salad. It didn't fill me up. It's giving me the hiccups. All right. The trade compensation, a lot of people are getting wrong. Okay, it's a third-round pick this year and a second-round pick next year. Now, if Wentz plays 75% of the snaps, it goes up to a first-round pick. If they make the playoffs and he starts 70% of the snaps, it's first-round pick. So it's a minimum of a second, probably a first. Now with Wentz's trade history. And because of that, because of the extra trade capital next year, I don't think Philly's going to take a quarterback this year. I think Philly's in better shape than most people think, but I would not be surprised with the Colts offensive coordinator, a relative unknown, taking over a team with a lot of dysfunction and a $33.8 million dead cap hit for Wentz. It's tough, man. It's going to be tough, but I think it did make the Colts better, but I don't think that they're a Super Bowl team. There's talk about Justin Houston leaving, and Justin Houston's one of my all-time favorite Chiefs players. I would love if Justin Houston came back to Kansas City. So my little Chiefs rant there. Jets got screwed in that trade. Yeah, they did. The Jets got a quarterback who they are going to get rid of. The Colts got 2 all-pro players. Not Pro Bowl, all-pro. I can argue that Quentin Nelson is the best guard in the National Football League. I had no idea that they were wanting him to play tackle and all that stuff. And Darius Leonard may be the best linebacker in football. I think Devin White's better. Darius Leonard's really good. So. Oh, the no on the man crush. Okay. By the way, when you dump flowers, you should. You should. I got J.J. Watt going to Cleveland. Lots of people do. And I'm telling you, I don't think it's that really great of a move. It's not an earth-shattering move because if you do this, what you do is you run directly at Myles Garrett and you negate his number one asset, and that's his speed and athleticism. He doesn't like stuffing the run. I don't care. I kept on hearing over and over again how good of a run stuffer he is. I don't see it. You run away from Watt, you run towards Myles Garrett. I don't think it's great, but anyway. I hate my neighbors. I got neighbors upstairs. Their favorite thing to do is drop bowling balls on the ground, and I hate them right now. Hopefully you guys can't hear the noise. It's driving me nuts. 19, yeah, we finally got out of that single digit hell, and next week it's like around 50. So I'm looking forward to that. Denver Gator. Sorry, been away. It's Mama Gator's birthday. Got the chat. Hey, man, I'm glad you're here. I understand about the family birthday party. Glad you're here. Man, we were talking about Carson Wentz being traded. I have J.J. Watt going to Miami. One Pride 40 has him going to Cleveland. Actually, I'd love to hear from you. What about Von Miller possibly leaving Denver? I was shocked when I heard that. Kind of sad. Collins too. You talking to Mark Collins? I'm sorry, Funk. I'm behind, so I'm drawing a blank here. Watt to Miami. Either he's going to Chicago or his wife or Green Bay says he doesn't want to go to Pittsburgh, though Arizona isn't off the table with our bold wide receiver trying to get him there. I got him going to Miami, and the reason why I think he goes to Miami is because I was just talking about him and I forgot his name. Brian Flores, the head coach in Miami, worked with Romeo Crennel in New England. The defense is almost exactly the same. It's a scheme fit. They have a young team. They want to go ahead and have a veteran leader on that team. And I think it works out good. There's no state tax in Florida. There's no state tax in Texas as well. They also, if Miami wants to try to make a Deshaun Watson trade, the best way to incentivize them is to go ahead and get J.J. Watt. It's not tampering, by the way. So I got him going to Miami. I thought it was Pittsburgh, but he said he didn't want to go to Pittsburgh. Arizona's interesting. Arizona's very interesting. It wouldn't surprise me. Arizona's interesting. So, 47, 76. God, I need to move to Fort Lauderdale. Why do I live here, man? Why do I live here? So, we're at a comfortable 41 here. Going to go 25 tonight, but won't go below 30 after the. Oh, wow. Yeah, my electric bill is high. I have a one-bedroom apartment. It's the highest it's been in 12 calendar months, but definitely not 10,000. So I didn't know AP was already gone. I didn't know that. So I'm glad you told me. I could see Johnson, the safety from LA, signing in Detroit. That's something I would really like if I was a Lions fan. He's a really good player. I think he actually stays in LA. At least they tried to sign him because he was the team captain. It's kind of unusual because normally the middle linebacker calls all the defensive calls. Was actually Johnson, the safety, who was making all the defensive adjustments. Kind of unusual system that they have. Yeah, Pete left some comments there. He said Friday was kind of difficult. And I thought about moving the show back to Wednesday, but I like doing Friday because all the news from the week, we get to the very end. For example, the Carson Wentz trade just happened a few hours ago, or actually yesterday. I'm sorry. So yeah. Alex, I thought you guys were more. I thought you guys were a more attractive job than the Lions. Boy, was I wrong. I still think it is. But it's Watson. I think Watson's staying there, and I think that once Watt signs, this is my thought process. Never being in the Houston Texans locker room, not knowing any one of those players personally, I gotta feel like at least one of those guys is saying, "Hey, it's our time," because it's really in Texas, J.J. Watt and the boys. I think some of those guys are saying, "Hey, listen, we don't need Watt." I gotta think that. Is Houston a better job than? Here's the deal with the Lions: is John Dorsey is huge. He turned around Kansas City. He turned around Cleveland. I think he'll turn around Detroit. John Dorsey was probably, I think, your number one signing. And by the way, what did I say? I said Bieniemy and Dorsey. Well, Dorsey is not the GM, but he's really going to help. So, and I thought the line ownership is what makes the team terrible. Without JJ, there's no player that has the ear of McNair to get rid of the disease as Esterby unless the players rise and force a change. Nothing's going to happen. The Lions are just not as dysfunctional. Who is the worst? The Ravens are apparently serious. That's actually a good move. That's actually, I think it's a great move. To be honest with you, that's actually that's a great move. All Indy has to do is draft a tackle and a few receivers. They are good to go. Well, I forgot they do need to draft a tackle. I forgot Costanzo retired, and that kind of makes sense. But this is a deep draft as far as tackles are concerned. So you could actually wait till the second round and probably get a guy who can start day one. I forgot about Costanzo retiring, but moving Quentin to tackle and drafting a guard, I mean, you could do that, but I would just go ahead and draft a. This is a good tackle draft. There's several day one starters in this tackle class, so that may be something the Colts may get really greedy and try to trade up for a tackle. That's interesting. So. Alex, you guys went dysfunctional for a few years. Lions have been dysfunctional my whole life. Then the Collins dude was just being, Jamie Collins. Okay, yeah. He's more than likely what I'm looking at is you're going to run a team. You're going to have a team that's very similar to what the Saints are, which you need 4 really good linemen. They have some really good linebackers, but they built up that defense. It was done over several years. They kept on flipping coordinators, flipping schemes, and then Dennis Allen came in. I thought Dennis Allen would get a head coaching job. They went to the 4-3, and he just built that defense. That's a good defense. That team's like $80 million over the cap too. So Sheila is different. Yeah, Flowers is probably they're going to un-New England that team pretty quickly. So. The Texans have always been dysfunctional, just not as bad as others. This is how we kept it from being close to worse organizations. Time just shat out. I just remember 2 years ago. You know what? I'm not going to go there, Alex. I'm not going to go there. We all know what happened at Arrowhead. But bottom line, they won a playoff game. Let's do this. 2 years ago, you won a playoff game. You beat the Bills. All right? You're not that far away. You're not that far away. You're not. The problem is, I think the Jaguars have gotten better. The Colts as of right now, they got better, but they got to fix that left tackle position. Tennessee, I want to see what they look like and how healthy is Derrick Henry going to be. Is he if he doesn't miss a step, then that's a scary team because they have multiple pieces they need to fix on the front seven. But they get a really good pass rusher. Tennessee's a team I would be really really afraid about. Lions signed a defensive end, last name of Heath, to a futures contract. Didn't know that. But the Lions are going to make a lot of changes. I warned you about this. John Dorsey's going to get very creative. You're going to sign a lot of players that you're like, who is this? I mean, look at the Chiefs. We got a player from Canada. Tyreek Hill came from nowhere. I mean, you're going to sign a lot of players that you don't know who they are, where they came from. We signed a guy who played basketball in college. It was crazy. Dorsey does a lot of creative things. Yeah, you're right. Guy from Mississippi State. That's always a good thing when you get a local guy. Sheila is. I met her a few times. Wow. Wow, that's really cool, man. Most of the Ford family actually work relationships. Wow, that dude Funk, that's super awesome, man. I follow Clark Hunt's daughter on Instagram. By the way, Gracie Clark, she's a billionaire, and I challenge you to find 10 girls on the planet hotter than her. Talk about hitting the. I'm not joking. She's down in Mexico in the tiniest bikini, and I promise you, there's not 10 women that you can find anywhere that are hotter than Gracie Hunt. Go ahead, look her up on Instagram. She's worth at least $5 billion and you won't find 10 women on the planet hotter than her. Yeah, she's that hot. Yeah. Clark Hunt's daughter, the owner of the Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah. Oh, that's right. AP said he wanted to play with Brady, but I think if they don't sign Fournette, I would love to see Adrian Peterson go there. He wants to take a run at Emmitt Smith's record. I would love it if he broke Emmitt Smith's record. I would love it. I don't think he'll get a chance. To be honest with you, if he wanted to play for a veteran minimum, I'd love him here in Kansas City. I would love him here in Kansas City. We're not going to keep Le'Veon Bell, so. Yeah, I saw the Eagles' new head coach presser, and I thought, oh boy. You're going to find you're referring to Sheila Ford. You will find out. Vaughn leaves Cowboys, Buffalo. I think Watt goes to Green Bay, retires as a Wisconsin hero. Let's tackle this. If Vaughn leaves, I think he's a pure 3-4 outside linebacker. I don't think he can play in a 4-3 scheme. I really don't. I don't think he can't play out. You don't want him to play linebacker in a 4-3 scheme. So that rules the Cowboys out. I think that rules Buffalo out. I would love for him to play in Kansas City, but he would have to play defensive end. I don't know if he's a defensive end. I think he's a pure 3-4 outside linebacker. Arizona might be a place for him. Reunites with drawing a blank on the coach's name. He's now the defensive coordinator there. That wouldn't be a bad spot. I think it's sad. I think it's sad to leave Denver. And I'm a Chiefs fan saying this. Watt goes to Green Bay. He's from the area. It would be interesting. Sorry. All right, here we go. The company I worked for before COVID wasn't cheap. So, yeah, we'll see what happened to the team, though. That's really awesome, man. That's some great inside information, man. That is awesome. The Eagles are not going to be a true contender for a while. Need to establish quarterback. Need to fix. Okay, well, the offensive line, Andre Dillard, he was the starting left tackle. They drafted him in the first round 2 years ago. He tore his ACL 10 days before the season started. He should come back healthy. He should be a stud. So you get that. Lane Johnson, Kelsey, if those guys come back, even there's talk about Kelsey being released or traded, something like that. Lane Johnson will come back on the right side, so your tackles are good. They spent free agent money on a guard. I'm drawing a blank on who it was. So I think if the offensive line is healthy, it's going to be good. The question is, how good is Hurts? I thought he played a lot better than I was expecting last year, but I mean, is this a guy who can carry your team? You have Dallas Goddard, Miles Sanders, Jalen Reagor. This is a good draft to draft receivers. How good's the defense going to be? I think the Eagles may surprise people because I think a lot of people are thinking this is going to be a terrible team. It has all the makings of a terrible team, but also has a good defense, a good offensive line. How good is Hurts going to be? He doesn't have to be great. He doesn't have to be great. But the NFC East is interesting because what are the Redskins going to do at the quarterback position? Same question with the Cowboys. If the Giants get a pass rusher, that defense could be really good. Giants to me are a team in the NFC East. I'm kind of like, man, that team scares me. If I'm an NFC East fan, I would circle the Giants as the team to beat. I heard Detroit was interested. I did hear that also. Here's the deal with the Lions. I think you have to fix the Galladay situation first, and then once the Galladay situation is resolved, where you get rid of him or whether you keep him, that's going to determine what you do in free agency. If you do lose Galladay and you're not able to sign anybody, you might have to draft a receiver at 7. Which would be tough. Owner destroyed it. That's right. With bad novice hire after bad novice hire. Hopefully it's better now. I think you're in good shape with Brian Flores. I think he's doing a fantastic job with the team. Lots of draft capital this year. Lots of draft. The Dolphins are a team that is just going to be so entertaining during draft time because they picked 3rd and 18. I can't think that they're going to take a quarterback. I can't believe that they're really going to pick at 3. That's what makes Miami so much fun, is that I don't see them taking a player at 3. You got to pick at 18. I think that they trade down, continue to stockpile draft picks, and at 18 they can get somebody to help. The Dolphins look like they're on the track to be a really good team. You like Flores, Mike. Hey, Mike, I'd love to hear what you think. I do. I think he's doing a great job. He might be the guy who leaves Belichick and has success. Thinking Broncos will push for Watson if he's available. I'd much rather have a smart vet like Fitzmagic or Alex Smith to teach Locke how to get to the next level. I don't think Watson, if he does leave, I don't think he's going to Denver. I'm really surprised more Broncos fans. I actually said the same thing to you. I said to Woody Page. He follows both of us now on Twitter, which is really cool. Really, really cool. I think this is the year you let Locke play. He's got weapons. He's got everything it takes to be successful. This is his year. Can you afford to pay a veteran backup? They don't come cheap. But as of right now, Locke's contract's pretty cheap. What I would do if I was Denver is I would just make it Locke's show. Just say, hey, look, we're going to give you every chance to succeed. You have all this talent on offense. You have a good offensive line. The defense is going to be good with or without Von Miller. You don't go to the playoffs, we're going to draft a replacement. It's that easy. But I'm really surprised that more Broncos fans aren't on board with Locke. I'm really surprised about that. Dorsey and Holmes, I expect it. I think Detroit's a team on the rise. Just remember, they're going to suck this year, and it's going to be hard. 2022, watch out. So, One Pride 40, I'm hopeful, but so far still a novice. He is. He is. I'm a big fan. Mike, and I think he's done a great job. The question is they went from 5 wins to, I think, was it 8 wins this year? 8 or 10? They got to make the playoffs. They got to make the playoffs with all the draft capital. They got Tua. They were wanting Tua, the tank for Tua. So you got to make the playoffs. You got to make the playoffs. Dolphins got to be a playoff team this year. I'm behind on comments. Sorry. I hope the Lions get Davis. I was not a fan of drafting Corey Davis at 5. I thought that was a massive reach. If you remember at the time, he wasn't, he had, I think it was an ankle injury, so he couldn't compete at the combine. Then when the pro day came around, everybody went to see Corey Davis at the pro day because he played at Western Michigan. They had a tackle who was also a prospect, and he got drafted in the second round, drawing a blank on his name. And he didn't participate at the pro day, and then Tennessee still took him at 5. And I'm like, really? Played really good last year. I think he's a legitimate number 2 guy. If Marvin Jones leaves, Corey Davis would be an excellent replacement. Won't come cheap. He is from there. Yeah, he played college ball at Western Michigan. So I like most of what Flores does, but he benched Tua twice. I didn't like that. I didn't like that he put him in the start. He should have just sat the whole year. But if you do put him in there, let him play. That was the one thing. But I love what he did with the defense. I love what they've done with the draft picks. There's a lot of young, really good talent on this team. How they managed Tua is very questionable. I got to agree with you. I'd love to know, Mike, are you on board with that? He should have just sat the whole year. It should have been Fitzmagic's. Okay, it should have been Fitzpatrick's team. It's called Fitzpatrick. It should have been his team the whole year. Do you agree with that, or did you want to see Tua in there? So they can't. He's not going to come cheap. And I think if you pay a lot of money for Corey Davis, it's a roll of the dice. So Gore might break the record before AP only because he'll retire at 60. Man, I forgot Gore could do it too. I would love to see Emmitt Smith's record broke. I would love to see it. Nothing against Emmitt Smith, but I would love to see Adrian Peterson or Gore do it. I will say I did top 10 running backs of all time. I had to leave Gore off the list, but Adrian Peterson made it. I remember Adrian Peterson as a freshman at Oklahoma. I was like, oh my God, is this guy for real? And some great years in Minnesota. Great years. So, but yeah, I'm open. I'm open to either one of these guys. I'd love to see them both get picked up. I forgot about AP getting cut from Detroit. Kind of a shame. And Gore hasn't been signed yet either, to the best of my knowledge. By the way, one of my high school teammates played with Corey Davis at Western and played with Els. Oh, no shit. Wow. Eskridge is a guy I really like. I think he'd look great in the Chiefs uniform. I'm really hoping I'm really hoping he can fall all the way. I'll tell you this right now. If he falls to the 3rd round, he'll wear a Chiefs uniform. I really like Eskridge a lot. That's really cool, man. That is really cool. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I hit the wrong button. I think Watson goes to Chicago because he wants to be close to his wife, which plays for Chicago's woman. You know what? I knew she played women's soccer, but I didn't know she played in Chicago. You know what, Alex, man? That's a great thought. I mean, him, Khalil Mack, Robert Quinn, who was a disappointment, but I still think is a great player. Akeem Akers, Eddie Jackson's coming back. I'm sorry, Eddie Goldman. I'm sorry. Wow, you know what, man? That's a great fit, man. That is a great fit. I didn't think about that. I really didn't think about that. I knew his wife played women's soccer. I didn't know it was in Chicago. That actually makes a lot of sense. That's a good point. I'm going to stick with Miami, but you're like, as I'm sitting here talking, as I'm saying it, I'm like, man, that makes a lot of sense, man. Flores also hasn't managed to check. I think he's doing a good job though, but he's got to get to the playoffs. I don't care if he loses the game; he's got to get there. He hasn't. If he doesn't act like Bill, he'll be fine. That's a tough one because, okay, I'm gonna stop the rant. I was going to go on a rant. I'm not going to rant. He has to be his own guy. He can't try to be a Bill Belichick clone. If he does, he'll fail. So you believe every New England Pat will be scrubbed? Well, the Lions probably, and the reason why is I think that you're going to switch to a. Don't get me wrong, man. Oh God, I'm drawing a complete blank. The defensive lineman, I know he played 3-4 end. Could he be an end in the 4-3? Sure, but no, I think no. It would be awesome to see Gore in the same backfield as his son. His son, if I remember right, is a sophomore. Is it East Carolina? I haven't had a chance to watch his son play, but his son, I think his son right now is not an NFL caliber player, and if that's the case, he's probably going to play another 2 years. But yeah, I would love to see it too. It'd be awesome. I like Dan. I haven't watched the presser yet. I'm sorry, I haven't watched the presser yet, but I like Dan Campbell. I thought it was a good pick. But I never coached a game. So we don't know. Finns have a great kicker. I forgot about the kicker. He won a couple games from. Yeah, I forgot that they signed the kicker to a big deal, and that's very important. That's a Bill Belichick trait, is that you have to be really good on special teams. Something Kansas City's focused on quite a bit, special teams. Even though the punter had a bad game, bad playoffs, but he's a rookie punter from nowhere. They had to pry money from somewhere, but yeah. I forgot about that. Denver, this is true. Denver Gator actually harassed Woody Page, but he got him to follow. And then Woody Page is really cool. Always been a Woody Page fan. That is awesome. He followed you. And because I remember he followed me, I was like, holy shit, Woody Page following me. And, it was actually cool. Jason Whitlock follows me. And he said something, and I said something back. He actually responded. I'm like, Jason Whitlock responded to me. He told me to chill out and develop a sense of humor, which is kind of funny. It was funny when Jason Whitlock was a columnist here in the Kansas City Star. He started here in Kansas City, just a beat writer, and I didn't always agree with him, but I read his column every single day. Super talented guy. And if I lived in Denver, I would probably read Woody Page's articles every single day. How's the defense? Yeah. Excellent. This is why I think J.J. Watt would make a lot of sense to Miami. Young, talented, they need a leader. And that's why I see him. They're a team on the rise. One Pride 40, Miami's a team on the rise. Lots of draft capital, lots of talent. They need an upgrade in skill. They don't have a running back. Gesicki's very similar to Hawkinson. And of course, about Tua. The defense has all the tools. They drafted a corner last year who barely played, but they spent the total. I think this year they're going to spend like $40 million in just those top two corners. At the time Davis was drafted, they're investing in getting a wide receiver for Marcus Him. Yeah, and I remember I liked Mike Williams a lot better, and it's a coin flip. Neither one ended up being a star. Mike Williams, I thought, was the better player, and he was from Clemson, so he's used to the big stage right away, where Mike Williams played a smaller stage, and I thought Williams was better. Neither one of them were really worthy of a top 10 pick, though, to be honest. I liked Williams better, though. One Pride 40. Right now, today, I probably would. But Campbell's staff could potentially start a trend. Okay. No, he has a really good staff. Okay, I finally got the mic here. I was okay playing Tua by midseason bye, but the mentions didn't help his confidence. Okay. Yeah, I think that he should sat the whole season. and maybe play the last 1 or 2 games. And but no, if you're going to start them, start them. It didn't make any sense to me to start him and then bench him. Just ride with the kid. They have to make sure his confidence is not. They have to make sure that his confidence. You have to make sure he's okay. And then these trade rumors can't help. These trade rumors for Deshaun Watson. But here's the thing: if you're not sold on this guy after you went ahead and picked him up, if you're not sold on him, try to make the trade with Houston. But I remember David Coley, who's the head coach of the Houston Texans, he said he took the job knowing that Deshaun Watson would be his quarterback. So I think if you get rid of Watson, you just – I don't know what you can do. So they have to make everything okay with Tua. And I think they will. I think he's got a lot of potential. OTAs, mini camps, and because they have a lot of draft capital, they should invest heavily in the offense. If they draft it at 3, if they keep the 3rd pick in the draft, they need to draft the best offensive player. And if that's Pitts, they take Pitts. If it's Jamar Chase, take Jamar Chase. If they think it's Devontae Smith, take Devontae Smith. A lot of people are thinking Weddle's going to be drafted before Smith. If that's the case, take him at 3. Personally, I think that what they're going to do is trade down from 3 and then take the best available offensive player at 18. And then the 3, who knows who they'll trade down with? It could be Philly. It could be Atlanta may just flip-flop 4th and 3rd. So that's also a good thing here. And I had another I played with Judo. He's just as good as Judon, but derailed by injuries. Who was that? Because I know they had a tackle that was picked in the 2nd round when he was there, but yeah, Matthew Judon's really good. He was injured this year for Baltimore. Baltimore's a team that I think could be really sneaky good in the AFC. Right now, I think the Bills. Now, Matt Milano, the starting linebacker, what the Bills did is that they basically have Tremaine Edmonds, who I have a huge man crush on, and Matt Milano. They played almost every single snap. And Matt Milano wants to leave, and you probably got to replace him with 2 guys. You probably have to replace him with a guy who can play 1st and 2nd down against the run, and then you probably play like a big. In Kansas City on 3rd down situations, we put Dirty Dan Sorensen, a safety, in the linebacker position. We call it the big nickel. They could go ahead and do something very similar in Buffalo, but sorry for my rant. But bottom line, though, yeah. Basically, my point was that both Baltimore and Buffalo has some things. So, dude, if you got the link, if you have the link available, I will find it. I promise I find it. I apologize. I've been spending a lot of time trying to fix my computer so I can start my draft videos. It's been very frustrating. So that's kind of why. And oh, damn, where the hell am I? Lost my place. Okay, here I am. Sorry. As a player, I like a coach like Campbell, not big X's. And X's, and I'm going to sue X's and those guys. Leaves that to a staff or a team to run full speed. Yeah, that's kind of what I see. It's kind of a bad thing because you have to realize John Gruden was a very experienced coach, but when John Gruden first got to the Raiders, tore apart that roster. They won 4 games. Next year they won 7. I think this year they won 8, but you could see the arc just going up. And I think that's what you're kind of going to see. The thing is with a guy like Dorsey, I think that you'll have a lot more success a lot faster. So Music City guy, I think Tua can be a solid starter for years. I think so too. And I think he has a chance to be a Pro Bowl caliber player. I said this before and I'll say it again. There's so many external factors to being a quarterback. There's so many external factors. The offensive line's in play. All right. You have a good defense. I think Flores is a fine coach, but Chan Gailey is the offensive coordinator. He's gone. I don't know who off the top of my head is replacing him. They got to get somebody good. They got to get good quarterbacks coach. And they have to improve the skill position talent. You have Mike Gesicki, who's a really good tight end. Now I get you. Now they have a really good receiver. I'm drawing a blank on his name. I loved him coming out of Louisville. He just can't stay healthy. So they have to fix their offensive skill position talent. They do that, and I think he's going to be fine. The Texans going into this season look fine, not great, but good. I think the Texans can be good if Watson buys in and free agency goes well. This team isn't going to build up to the draft. No, I agree 100%. And I think once everything settles and Watson realizes he's going to stay in Houston, buys into it, and Houston says, hey, look, listen, we're going to get you some help. And there's some players that they can get in the mid rounds that can help out the team this year. This is they're going to draft. I can almost promise you they're going to draft a wide receiver who's going to help. The defense, I'm kind of curious if they're going to stay with a 3-4, go to a 4-3, how they're going to dissect things. If they stick with a 3-4, Ross Blacklock, is he going to move out and take Watt's spot? That's not a bad move. Ross Blacklock's a guy I loved out of TCU last year. There's a chance his defense could be really good, but everything you're saying is right. Would it be crazy to see Miami trade back to 7? No, it wouldn't. Not only would it not be crazy for them to trade back to 7, they could trade to 8. They could trade to 12. I think 12 is San Francisco. Here, let me check real fast here. I think 12 is San Francisco. Yeah, 12 is San Francisco. 12 is San Francisco. Denver at 9. Carolina at 8. I'll be honest with you. I'd be shocked if Detroit traded up. I could see Detroit trading down, but I would be shocked. But Miami could trade to 8, 9, or 12 very easily. Very easily, and they would get a slew of draft picks. And they need – it wouldn't surprise me if they draft a 1 or 2 running backs early. When I say early, second, third round, maybe not first round. Spoiler alert, it wouldn't surprise me if Miami drafts takes the first running back off the board at 18, but they could trade back to 8, 9, or 12, take a wide receiver at 18, take a running back, and boom, you're set. I got you. Yeah. I got tripped up for a second, but I knew that's what you meant. So, Detroit, yeah, it does. I think out of all the teams off season, it's theirs is the best, but it's not going to equate. Just remember, they're going to suck this year. So, no, it's not. It's not. But he's just got to be pretty good. They got. Here's the thing: Miami has to get to the playoffs. They've got to get to the playoffs. Really, Gator. Vrabel isn't much of an X's and O's. Same with Flores. I could see that. Vrabel is a very good coach. I 100% agree with you, Mike. Mike Vrabel's an excellent coach. He did a great job with Tennessee. Then McVay and Shanahan are big X's and O's guys. Okay. One Pride 40. Yeah, Baltimore's good, but they won 14 games and they lost in the first playoff game. They won a playoff game. They didn't get past the divisional round. They're trying to get to a Super Bowl. Baltimore, Buffalo, Kansas City are all Super Bowl caliber teams. I don't think Cleveland's there. Cleveland believes that I guarantee if Watt signs there, there'll be talks about Cleveland being a Super Bowl team. I think the Colts are better than Cleveland right now. But I think Baltimore, Buffalo, and Kansas City are the top 3 teams in the AFC. Baltimore is a team that is good, but they're trying to get better because they want to go to a Super Bowl. At 7, I can see that. I can see that. Funk, Detroit would have to trade up then. Yeah. I don't see that. I don't see Detroit. I definitely don't see Detroit trading up. I think they could trade down. I think they could take a quarterback. I think they could take a receiver. The one thing I will say as far as Detroit, they will not trade up. I think Tua needs to get better through play to more play time. Oh yeah, listen, OT. Remember last year he was hurt. He was hurt last year. He had to get healthy, and then once he got healthy, then he was ready to sit. So he wasn't getting reps throughout OTAs and training. This year he's going to get. Okay, I'm assuming as of right now, and I could be wrong. You're gonna have OTAs. You're gonna have mini camps. You're gonna have preseason, and all these things are extremely important for young players like Tua. Drew Lock's another one. Excuse me. Campbell doesn't need to be an X's and O's. They literally build a staff on both sides. Yeah. Exactly. The defense is the biggest question for the Texans. We should understand how the defense will be. Yeah. I'm kind of I still don't know if they're going to switch schemes, if they're still going to play that 3-4. It'll be interesting because how do you use Blacklock? Is he going to be a 3-4 end? If you go to a 4-3, is he going to play a lot more tackle? And if you do switch up schemes, what do you do if you're two inside linebackers? Those guys are built for a 3-4 defense. You go to a 4-3. I don't think those guys really fit, and then they're expensive. But there's some talent on that team. I think free agent. I know you got Reggie. You got I almost said Reggie, right? I'm sorry, wrong guy. You got Roby, Lonnie Johnson, a guy that I really loved out of Kentucky. How will he progress? I forget who your safety is, but you have some really good players on defense, and I think you can add through free agency. Don't worry about the draft this year. You have a pick at the top of the third round. He's a guy that you just take best player available. How will you do in free agency? And the one thing I don't know, and I'll dive into this a little more when I start breaking the teams down, but I would really like to see if they're going to switch schemes on defense. I think they're going to stick with the 3-4, but the Romeo Crennel runs a very complex scheme. I would really, really kind of hope that it's a kind of a dumbed down version. There's some talent on this team. There's no way that defense should have been that bad. Exactly. One pride to let their coordinators call the plays and they're have players playing tough and disciplined. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. One pride, know both Dorsey and Holmes have moved up for the quarterback they wanted. Well, in Cleveland, he got there. They had the first pick. They were winless. So no. Kansas City, it's kind of the big argument. Apparently, he didn't want to trade up from Holmes. Andy Reid forced it because the Chiefs' power structure is that the general manager and the head coach both report directly to the owner. It's very, very unusual, but not really. And one thing about now the Rams, remember they traded up for Goff big time. So I'd argue Dorsey, but Holmes did. I have a hard time believing that you're going to spend $43 million on a guy. It makes so much sense to draft a quarterback next year. It makes so much more sense for me to draft a quarterback next year. Salah, you haven't seen him coach yet. They need to fix that defensive line. The only player right now that I think Salah is happy about on that defensive line is Quentin Williams. And I did a video where I broke down the Tampa 2 defense, which is very similar to what they're going to run because it's predicated on the front four. It's predicated on that cover 3 wide 9 defense is a very basic defense. It's not complex. It revolves around one principle. Your 4 getting pressure on 5 offensive linemen. So you need 4 studs on that defensive line. They only got 1. And unfortunately, there's not a Chase Young or a Bosa brother in this draft. If so, that would be the pick. So I think the Jets will struggle, but I'm kind of interested what they're going to do at the quarterback position. As of right now, Darnold's the starter. It seems like they're going to go ahead and trade. So I understand Quinn's obsession for oversized and clunky linebackers. No. Baseball bat Bobby thought he was the man, whatever he did. Yeah. It was, yeah. Reason why I want Sal is because I thought he was a leader of men. Like the next guy, this presser seems like a snoozer. That wide 9 defense only works when you have studs all over that. The wide 9 defense that they ran in San Francisco was only successful that now last year it was 12th and had some injuries, but et cetera. But when it was really good, they signed D Ford, a 5-year, $90 million deal, a former first-round pick in Kansas City. They signed D Ford. Eric Armstead and DeForest Buckner, both those guys, top 10 picks. I think 9th overall back-to-back years. And then you got Nick Bosa, 2nd overall pick. Solomon Thomas, they tried to integrate him into that defense. They traded from 2nd to 3rd. They took Solomon Thomas. Solomon Thomas, universally, I thought was top 5 guy. Wasn't that good of a guy. I have no idea why. Universally, everybody thought this guy was going to be a stud. Just didn't live up. I have no idea. That's what needs to happen for the Jets to be good, is that they have to have 4 legitimate studs on that defense. They have a lot of good pieces. They have some good secondary pieces. The linebacker from Baltimore, I'm drawing a blank on his name. They gave him a bunch of money. He's going to come back. I don't think he really fits the defense, but he'll probably be the day 1 starter. But no, Salah's a guy. He's a good motivator. They're bringing over, I think it's the 49ers run game coordinator. So basically what you see in San Francisco, you're going to see in New York. And the team in New York is going to be bad until you get some real studs on that defensive line. And right now, all you got is Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams has all the tools to be really, really good. Now they just need 3 other guys to be studs. So haven't watched it, though. I will. So, Gator, how do you feel about your Broncos this year? I don't know if he's here. Remember, he said he's going to be in and out. He's got a birthday party, and we're at the 146 mark. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I can't thank you guys enough for joining the show, talking football with me. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole world. I'm sorry I haven't got a draft video out yet. I've been having some technical difficulties. If everything's ironed out, I'll release 3. So when we get together next Friday, I'll have 3 draft videos. Hopefully you guys have a chance to check them all out. I'm going to try to keep them to under 10 minutes. I'm going to try not to rant too much, but there's a lot of information I want to get into each draft pick. If I do have technical difficulties, I'll continue to postpone until I get everything resolved. So Houston's got they don't, but they can restructure or make some cuts. Some of those big name defensive players, they had one of the worst defenses in the NFL last year. A lot of big name talent, so it'll be kind of interesting what they do to maneuver around with some money. So the Lions win. Y9s for a minute. It was good with Sue. Oh, yeah. Ziggy Ansah for a while was really good. Yeah. And see, that's what you're looking at. That's what you're looking at. But the only player on the Jets defensive line who can do that right now is Quentin Williams. So they need to add probably at least 2 more studs. And there's not one at the draft. So what you'll see is that I think the Jets pick at 23. If I remember right, I think it's the 23rd pick in the draft. They'll probably just try to take the best front 7 defensive player there. Or they could trade down, but they need to get creative. They need to get that defense only works good when there's studs. I mean, Pro Bowls all over the defensive line. That's the only way that defense works. We have 10 million in, yeah. I expect some. I expect some moves to be made. I really expect some moves to be made. So it wouldn't surprise me if that number goes up. But I think once Watson commits to Houston, commits to staying, things will really open up and look a lot brighter for the Houston franchise. So just be patient, Alex. Be patient. Denver Gator, I'm hopeful the Broncos only have actual OTAs and training camps. Offenses, yeah, exactly. Sutton needs to come back. Jerry Jeudy had a case of the dropsies. He was my number 3 player overall. He was my number 1 wide receiver. I would actually take Jerry Jeudy over Devontae Smith and the other Alabama receiver. I would take Jerry Jeudy over both those guys. He needs time. Noah Fant, I think in a few years, may be the best tight end in football. You're right. They need some help. I'm surprised that you think that they need some defensive guys, because even without Von Miller, I think the defense is going to be good. I don't know if you're going to sign Justin Simmons or not. That's another thing. I'm going to wrap this up. So I have no idea. I am going to follow Justin Simmons because I think he's a really good safety. He looked great in the Chiefs uniform. Just saying. But the fan base sucks. I'm gonna tell you something. I've been to Arrowhead. I've had season tickets for a long time. Denver fans have traditionally been super cool at Arrowhead. The last time I was at a Chiefs Broncos game, there was some guys from Colorado who made the trip down. They said it was a bucket list. Awesome fans. You have been awesome. So I've been a fan of Broncos fans. Sal is Jim. I thought Jim Schwartz was actually pretty good. So I see the similarity. So you have some great receivers, and that's I think Denver's a team that, with Von Miller coming back in those offseason and OTAs, if Drew Lock plays like the guy who I think he is, then that's a dangerous team. With that Von Miller, I'm kind of like, If there is a preseason, I want to watch as much Broncos preseason as I can, because I think that's important. So, phone giving me the deuces. I'm going to end it. Listen, everybody, have a great week. You can always email me. By the way, if you want, One Pride 40, if you want to send me that link, great. I will watch it. I apologize. Hopefully next week we'll have 3 draft videos to watch if the difficulties do not work. Great show, everybody. Don't forget, give me a thumbs up, even though I don't deserve it. You deserve it because you brought up some great points and some great talking points. I didn't even know about Quentin Nelson moving the tackle into. You guys told me. It's why I do the show, because I get to learn some knowledge. Hopefully next week we get to talk about 3 awesome draft videos. And hey, man, have a great weekend. I will see you guys next Friday.